it's dark and demonic energy that this industry was built on, and people manipulate.
So y'all want me to talk about this Rich Homie Quan situation? A lot of y'all been hitting me up, so let's get into it.
I don't know if you've had this, but I've had people throw millions of dollars in my face to do something I didn't want to do. And what? Just, you've been off, yeah. Oh, they're in the room.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Yeah.
That was my way of cueing you. Like, it's open dialogue.
Yeah, you want me to keep talking about it?
By all means, we can talk about anything.
But don't do it.
Yeah, no.
Rich Homie did not overdose. Let's set that right. He was poisoned.
Because the first thing I get from him is the wording. Ask them about the after party, after the party.
Number two, well, we're going to send you a letter and answer it within a 24-hour period, and we'll tell you what we can give you. What you mean a letter, man? Just tell me right here. No. Go home. We're going to send you a letter, and that letter they're going to explain. But it's going to be coded like what they want him to do if he's willing to do this. You see, it's like nursery rhymes. And you're like, what? If I do what? I don't understand the letter. Give us your mama, and we'll put you in the $20 million club. Man, you crazy. And if you weak, you ain't got the Lord on your side, you sitting at home in that dark room, you tired of eating Roman noodles, you ain't got no running water, electricity out, you buy a candle going, all right, man. She work, downtown. She get off at 6. What I supposed to do? Set it up, have her at home. You catch a plane, go somewhere for a couple of days, and we'll send you a text. All right. A week later, they give them a text. They won't say that she's dead. They'll be like, the party was great. Thanks for showing up. Because it's like coded. They ain't going to just come out and say they killed her, right? He heard on the news she dead. He break down. He goes to his bank account and got $20 million in his bank account. He slowly forget his mama. Ask Kanye West.
Let's get this money. It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, it's just money coming. Money coming to me immediately. Money coming in.
So y'all want me to talk about this Rich Homie Quan situation? A lot of y'all been hitting me up. So let's get into it. So they're saying the man is dead at the age of 34. And his government first name, DeQuantes, equals 34. Y'all better learn gematria real quick. I have a question. How did TMZ obtain that 911 call so quick? Sequoia for pointing this out to me last night. Lamar Jackson's first name is Young Thug's middle name and Rich Homie Quan's last name. And it just so happens that Rich Homie Quan passed on the first night of football where Lamar Jackson was playing. This right here is called date numerology, and it's so ironic that the numbers of Rich Homie Quan's birthday and Rich Homie Quan's death date equal the same exact amount. Why is that? You could tell that this was a Baltimore Ravens ritual to start off the season because Baltimore equals 41 and Rich Homie Quan is dead 4 weeks and 1 day before his birthday. All right. You also see how Baltimore also equals 95. Well, Rich Homie Quan is allegedly dead on 9/5. And if you still have a hard time with coming to grips with me saying that Rich Homie Quan was a NFL ritual sacrifice, then how about this? The final score last night was 27-20. That's a total of 47 points. And when you look at Rich Homie Quan's government name, that equals 47. If you go back to my Francis Scott Key Bridge video, which they've kind of blocked out, I told you how every major sporting event was going to have something to do with the number 47 this year, all because of the presidential election. Listen, I don't have no problem teaching y'all how this matrix goes and how gematria goes, but please do not come on my page talking that dumb shit like you know what you're talking about, and you don't. For all the people that's saying, man, is Rich Homie Quan dead? Is he this? Is he that? You've been to my page. What do you think I'm going to say? My name is BY is Real, where I don't do conspiracies, I do real ass information. And as always,
men lie, women lie, numbers don't.
Rich Homie did not overdose. Let's set that right. He was poisoned, right? Because you can.
Wack goes on to say you can do the normal amount that you normally do of whatever substance you're doing, and it's perfectly fine. But if you've been poisoned or someone has put fentanyl in your, stash, then it's going to kill you. And it's not official that that's what killed Rich Homie. RIP, by the way, sad. But if that is it, he did overdose. Maybe he was poisoned as well. But you know who doesn't pass away due to fentanyl overdoses? People who don't do drugs. I'm sorry, maybe that's insensitive to say, but it's the truth. If you're worried about dying of a fentanyl overdose, there is a very, very easy way to make sure that that never happens, and that's to not do things that could be laced with fentanyl. That might even mean just like buying Adderall off the street. I understand there's a fentanyl epidemic in our country, but the best way to stay safe from it
expected death, but was it? Because the first thing I get from him is the wording. Ask them about the after party, after the party after the party. They wanted me to be a caricature of myself. They wanted me to be a cartoon. I didn't want to be a cartoon after the party. Okay. On the day that he passed, November 1st of 2022, he literally came off the heels of Halloween. I'm being dead serious. That's a huge, huge sacrificing date on the calendar. But in this particular instance, the timing I find very suspect. I also am hearing the wording with this young man that I know the numbers played out. My numbers were played out after the party. My numbers were played out after the party. I have no idea what that means. I go two ways in my head. I go to gambling and I literally go to the numbers. I literally feel like he was warned, and I'm just going to go straight out and say this. So I literally feel like he was warned that his life was in danger, and I feel like he knew it immediately, okay? And I'm talking going back 4 years. I don't know how long that band was climbing up the ladder and becoming rap group was climbing up the ladder and becoming famous. Okay. I'm not sure when they started, but I feel it's back in his youth. And I feel like he was warned. The executives, they who controlled the musicians, put the musicians out front and center, could see his energy. But I'm speaking on a metaphysical level. I feel like they were using him and his band to change the frequency. Now, this is weird. To extract consciousness, the conscious thoughts of the listeners to this music, and put it into a cartoon shell. It's really weird. The energy around him is showing me a cartoon, a sketch pad, drawing the cartoon, popping it off the paper, and using the energy, okay, from the people watching the cartoon, listening to the music, to move the consciousness in a different direction. This band was slated to come in the in-between, okay, the in-between, and Quincy knows. I think we know who we're talking about here. I've been hearing that name since people asked me to do the energy on this, but Quincy knows. So I feel like this was a setup. So as I'm walking into the party, everybody's excited, everybody's cool. I'm invited to a party. It's a celebration. It's cool. It's fun. It's a thing. I'm invited to the party. I want to go to the party. However, why are you all inviting me to the party? What is this party really about? What are we doing here? And the person who shot me isn't the person who murdered me. The person who shot me isn't the person that murdered me. Obviously, the person who shot him is the person who murdered him because they took the physical action with the weapon to do so, but they're not the ones that murdered me. So this was a group effort to remove this young man. I feel there's more than one person that orchestrated this, and I feel like there's so much confusion, and the time was up. My numbers were up. They called my number. My numbers were up. he would not go into the next part of the contract. So I really believe that he reneged on something he had agreed to do. I want to live my life. I want to do this. There's a woman involved in going to the party. I'm going after the party. There's a woman involved. I'm going to see a woman. A woman is talking to me. She's befriending me. I don't really know her well, but she's talking to me. This is kind of a setup with this, getting him in the right position with enough people around in order to harness that energy. It's kind of that type of a thing. He definitely aware of who was mourning him at his funeral and who was pretending to mourn him. Everybody's boo-hooing, crying. He says, look at who wasn't and look at who was very stoic faced, which is a thing. I mean, if you go to a funeral, you can't always like express yourself because it would be hysterical for some people. So he fucking can see you and knows that you weren't sincere. Don't think he can't see you. Don't think you're not going to get caught in the crossfires. I have no idea what the hell that means, but don't think you're not crossfires, crosshairs, going to get caught in the middle of it, crossing the energy. He was double-crossed after the party. What the hell does that mean? After the party. He was crossed, double-crossed. The people at his funeral, very few of them were sincerely sad about his passing. They were observant of his passing. They acknowledged his passing. There was a lot of people there, and I'm hearing this word. Bitch. You know who you are. And I think he's talking about a woman. Literally. That's why I think he's using that particular description. So there is a female that's close to another male that he's close with, and there's switching of the energy with that. He struggled really hard with what I want to do in this life. They were taking his creations, switching the frequency up with it in order to connect to the consciousness. This, okay, now, then what I'm seeing like a motorcycle ride down a road in a video game, dodging balls. So the rider on the bike is a video game. The video game is moving through the computer, and I feel like they were literally trying to contractually force him into a video game and or a cartoon. I liked myself as a cartoon, drawn as a cartoon. I actually feel this, I'm going to say this, I actually feel that when he crossed out, they tried to capture him to put the essence of who he was into a game. Also, when he crossed out of his body, I can see you. I can see you. He was turning a blind eye to them in life, but he could see them. So when he died, he was actually able to see these people that put the word out that he was supposed to leave planet Earth early. Put that word out. My number's up. 3 of you dudes on the other side. 3 of you. He could see you, and it was all orchestrated by higher ups. I do feel a woman came into his life and tried to get information and ammunition on him, and this would be in the past 6 months of his life. He had to be able to feel you, to trust you, and she was part of it. So there's a chattering woman that is part of what happened to him. So I think there might have been some kind of contractual discrepancy. Some kind of contractual discrepancy going back about 2.5 years with him. Okay. He wasn't seeing the people around him clearly because he was trying to detach from them without causing waves.
Oh, you guys think this is only in the music industry? How do you think these actors do so well at acting?
Basically what I did was got on my knees and sort of communicated with the spirits. And when I came out, I was in charge.
Powerful scene.
Powerful scene. I couldn't have acted that.
Oh, it's real big in the film industry.
I spent a day there just kind of praying and asking, like, just guide me through this. If you can hear me, tell me what to do, tell me how to move, tell me how to speak, tell me how to behave, and I'll do whatever you say. So that there was a strange, mysterious spirituality going on around the making of this film.
That was pretty straightforward, right? Maybe that's why Johnny Depp won't watch his own movies.
I don't like watching myself.
Yeah.
I prefer the experience. I mean, making the film is great.
Right.
The process is all fine, but then he's up there.
Right.
It's just method acting, right?
two voices came out of you. Do you remember this? They were simultaneous words, but they were two levels of sound. I was amazed, and you said, well, sure, oh, I'm many different people.
Real funny, right? See, it would be a coincidence or maybe just trolling if only a few artists spoke on this, channeling spirits, but it seems to be all throughout the industry. But just a theory, right?
Alright, guys.
People from every background, but they all have one thing in common. They're all terrified of Ronan Farrow. He's coming for you. He's coming for you. Talking of all you it was a big year for movies. Shut up. Shut up. I don't care. I don't care. Many talented people of colour were snubbed in major categories. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that. The Hollywood foreign press are all very, very racist. 5th time. And it's still more fun than this, okay? Spoiler alert, season 2 is on the way, so in the end, he obviously didn't himself, just like Jeffrey Epstein. Shut up! I know he's your friend, but I don't care.
Our next presenter starred in Netflix's Bird Box, a movie where people survive by acting like they don't see a thing. Sort of like working for Harvey Weinstein. You did it, I didn't, you did it.
It's dark and demonic energy that this industry was built on, and people manipulate young women, they manipulate kids, and at the end of the day, it's all for the dollar and all to feed their ego. So I've seen some shit where you be like, that's just not right. Like, that person shouldn't be talking to that person shouldn't be in the room with that person alone. When you're in this position to change people's lives, and you hold the keys to what they consider success, you see a different aspect of the person. People will do anything to achieve their goals, and then people will manipulate and misuse that energy to get what they want.
Everything that Nick Cannon said in this interview explains exactly how Hollywood is. He explained how people manipulate people when they're coming up and rising into fame. And we've seen this with people such as Harvey Weinstein and others. He also explains his own experiences where he's seen things that he just doesn't believe is right. And what's even more disheartening, he talks about how the industry manipulates kids. So drop in the comments and let me know what you guys think of everything Nick Cannon said in this interview.
Freemasons use this symbol. This is going to blow your mind. Black and white squares and a number 11 with 2 pillars. Black adds up to 11, white adds up to 11. This is 1111. Black represents matter, white represents spirit. That's why the Holy Spirit is a white dove. Physical plane, matter, astral plane, spirit. This represents spirit and matter intertwined, which is the physical world. The astral is the screen in your mind that allows you to imagine things. This is completely metaphysical. As above, so below. What happens in the astral happens in the physical. You manipulate these higher planes of consciousness and you manipulate the physical plane. Now this is how magic works. Using your astral body, your imagination and emotions to create a physical reality. Everything you see in physical began in astral and mental. Checkered floor represents spirit and matter intertwined. The pillars represent as above, so below. What happens in spirit, in astral, happens in physical. You've also probably seen this. A compass for the circle, a square for the square. Circle is eternal, square is limited. Spirit and matter, mind over matter, spirit over matter.
But I warn you, if you make any further inquiries, or if you say a single word to anyone about what you have seen, there will be the most dire consequences for you and your family. Do you understand?
Stop! Let him go! Take me! I am ready to redeem him.
I really do not like Hollywood. It is not for me. The business really scares me. I understand that I'm a part of that business and I enjoy my kind of interactions with it. But that said, I am always looking for ways to kind of remove myself from it, to kind of just live as normal a life as possible. Today, doing this is a very rare thing for me to do. Yeah, I definitely think it has been an ongoing thought, which is don't lose yourself. I've seen so many people come before me and lose themselves, and I've had friends that I've grown up with that aren't friends of mine anymore because they've lost themselves to this business. And I just am really, really keen to focus on what makes me happy, which is my family, it's my friends, it's my carpentry, my golf, the charity that my mum runs. Like, that is the stuff that makes me really happy, and that's the stuff that I should protect. My relationship is the thing that I keep most sacred. I don't talk about it. I try my best to keep it as private as possible. We both feel very strongly that that is the healthiest way for us to move on as a couple. So I do try to keep as removed from it as possible. Like, you'll never see me at an award show that I don't have to be at. I'm never going to a red carpet event that I'm not in the film of, you know? I don't want the attention when I don't need it.
Hollywood is darker than you think.
Does the devil walk amongst us?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Everywhere, especially in Hollywood.
Yeah, all right. Let's get into it. Man, what's going on in Hollywood?
Lots of weird.
Get into it. I mean, do we think the devil lives there?
I think the devil lives within a lot of people that live in Los Angeles specifically.
Don't you live in Hollywood?
I do, and I want to get the F out of there ASAP.
Okay, look. Now we understand. The devil won't let me.
Yeah.
The devil won't set me free.
Literally, I'm trapped.
It's the mark of the beast. Hey, would you take the mark if you could have your cell phone inside your body? No. You never have to call.
Take the mark. Take the mark for a Grammy right now.
For a Grammy?
I'd like to first of all thank the devil.
Don't forget to like and follow and stay weird.
Happy was an actor in Hollywood, and he decided he was going to expose all of the sick things in Hollywood. And if you haven't seen my video about Tom Hanks, watch that to get caught up, but I'm going to show you what he said about Seth Green. Unfortunately, Isaac Cappy passed away after forcing himself off a bridge, but he said this.
I'm not suicidal. I'm not suicidal.
Now let's see what he had to say about Seth Green.
At the end of the night, it was me, Seth, and his brother-in-law, and Seth turned to me and opened up this secret bookshelf, and he's like, "This is where we keep the children." And I was like, I tried to just put it out of my mind, but then about a month later, Seth, Claire, and I were having a dinner at their house, and Seth said, "We now need to have a talk about chicken." And I was like, oh God.
I didn't f*** a guy, but I had to let a guy perform oral sex on me.
Yeah.
To get my first special. A lot of people don't know that.
Oh yeah, the classic.
Yeah.
I just assumed this was sort of public knowledge. Like,
people are still like wowed by it. Like,
everyone knows this is what happens.
I thought, yeah.
I had to drink a flagon of semen just to get a commercial agent. Like, not
Really?
even to get, I didn't even book a commercial.
I had a different like commercial initiation. I was like strung, you know, like, but upside down.
Yeah.
And it was a red room. They were always in a red room.
Red room.
Ton of candles, right? And
Yep.
then they just kept. You felt like getting warm. You're like, is the heat on? And they're like, no, there's a fire below you. And you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And then in the morning, you're just like, you're like so much sweat pouring off you. You're naked, right? And then these men come in the room, and they touch you. They don't like. For me, it wasn't like.
Yeah.
I guess you could say it was sensual. It was more than sensual.
Yeah.
But when I left the room, I had an agent, and I got a Sony commercial.
I think this is why you're doing theaters.
Yeah.
You know, because I just drank a flagon of. And
Yeah.
like, you know, I love that I'm doing clubs and stuff, but
Yeah.
I feel like if I've been invited into the red room.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
About drinking blood
today, huh?
I guess drank each other's blood might
mislead people, or like people are imagining us with like goblets and we're like Game of Thrones drinking each other's blood. It's just a few drops.
Oh, okay.
But yes, we do consume
Guys,
each other's
come on.
blood on occasion for ritual purposes.
Just for the ritual.
Only.
You know.
It is used for a reason, and it is controlled where it's like, let's shed a few drops of blood and each drink it. He's much more haphazard and hectic and chaotic, where he's willing to just like cut his chest open with broken glass and be like, take my soul, let me bleed on you. It doesn't not happen, let me tell you. Maybe not exactly like that, but a version of that has happened many times.
This is what a midlife crisis looks like. And the thing that's funny about Megan Fox is that she notoriously went on a rampage against her ex-husband, Brian Austin Green, because he published a photo of him with his kid. They're about to go to like a soccer game, and she's like, no photos of our children on the internet, like she's a good parent. Oh, okay, but you're gonna be on the internet as the mother of this child talking about drinking the blood of your 20 years younger boyfriend, however much younger he is. Like, this is disgusting. It's satanic, it's demonic, but it's just like the stupidity behind like, I'm protecting my kids because I'm gonna be the person that's a knucklehead out on Instagram talking about drinking blood like, you know, like I'm a Satan worshiper.
People are saying that this is unusual behavior. This is so crazy and weird and unusual. This, from the standpoint of world history, this is not unusual. This is the norm. Drinking each other's blood and having all sorts of weird rituals and human sacrifice, that is the norm throughout every civilization in the history of the world until the ancient Israelites come down and say there is a God and we know his name, and then Jesus comes as the embodiment, as the incarnation of that God, and says, hey, stop doing all this weird stuff. And it's just so funny that the libs accuse Christians of being superstitious and weird and backward, and yet they go with their crystals and their blood sacrifices and their weird behaviors. They're the ones that are going even further back than any of us old-timey conservatives.
So here's the other possibility, is that she is making all this up because she told Rolling Stone, for example, that she likes to make stuff up just to mess with journalists. So there is a possibility there is that, but it's so irresponsible. Even if you're faking this just to, Donny Osmond.
Guys, more details surrounding the passing of rapper Rich Homie Quan have come to light following his passing. This entire situation is literally insane. Apparently his brother found him asleep on the kitchen floor around 3 a.m. with food in his mouth. At that point, his brother allegedly moved him to the couch, where he was later found unresponsive by his girlfriend. This entire situation is also unfortunate. Homie Quan's girlfriend called into the police around 11 a.m. stating that she had found her boyfriend unresponsive on the couch and foaming at the mouth, which is also disturbing. According to reports, Rich Homie Quan's girlfriend woke up at around 6:45 a.m. to get the children ready for school. As she was leaving, she saw he did not have a blanket, so she gave him one. When she came back, she took a nap. Woke up at around 11 a.m., noticed that he was in the same spot, called the police frantically, stating that he was unresponsive. He was taken to Grady Memorial Hospital, where he was pronounced unalive. Now, this entire situation, like I said before, is also unfortunate. Prayers up for Rich Homie Quan and his family. I know they were definitely not expecting this. Details surrounding what actually made him unresponsive or what actually made him pass. Details surrounding why he actually passed have yet to be unveiled. I've seen a couple of people saying he may have OD'd, and I've seen a couple of people saying that he may have choked now that they found out what happened between him and his brother earlier that day. I'm curious to know what y'all think regarding this. Let me know y'all thoughts down in the comments, you guys. Peace.
As the individual who was shot and killed, police do say and confirm that there were members of the rapper group Migos present at this party. They also do say that the individual who died is a person who's in their late 20s, a black male, and they also say that 2 individuals were transported to the hospital in their private vehicles. So again, Kate, the latest here from Houston is that rapper Takeoff has died. He was shot and killed overnight, and this is according to a source close to Migos telling CNN. Kate.
Alright, so let's talk about these contracts, right? Alright, so signing a contract is pretty much the same thing as taking that 100 bond when you go to jail. When that inmate put that 100 bond on your bed, it's basically the same method. You know what I'm saying? They flash so much money in your face because they know you don't know what you're getting yourself into. We came from nothing. You feel me? Of course we're going to sign. Of course we're going to take the money. But guess what? As your career start to blow up, they're gonna start pulling stuff out that contract. You see where you know what I'm saying, you sign right here, this what you gotta do. You feel me? You can't release nothing, you can't do nothing without them folks' permission after you sign that contract. And that's why so many of these rappers that, you know what I'm saying, go independent or get their own master, something happen to them. You feel me? Like, say if they want you to beef with a certain individual, you know what I'm saying? Now, even though you might not have no beef with that person at all, you gotta drop that diss song. You feel? They tell you, hey, drop a diss song toward that person. You feel me? These two record labels and already talk. You feel me? Okay, we're gonna make him drop a diss, then we're gonna make him drop one back. So it increase our views and we get more record sales and we get more money. You know what I'm saying? Now everybody, in our eyes, we thinking these people really beefing. You feel me? But in reality, they probably somewhat kicking it with each other. And it make it easier for the record label to pay somebody off to come kill you or something. You feel me? And now your fans thinking, oh, well, he died due to gun violence, or he died because he was in street wars, or he was in street beef with this person, or he died because he was, you know what I'm saying, he was promoting drugs, he was on drugs so heavy, you know what I'm saying? Nobody asking questions because everybody feel like they already know what happened. You worth more dead to them than you is alive, you feel me? When you die, all these folks gotta do is give your parents and stuff a little money, you know what I'm saying? Make you a little nice funeral, get you a nice casket, and you don't gotta hear from them folks no more. You feel me? All that money that you made, or all that money that you making after you're gone, that's going to your record label. That's going to the person you signed that contract. You know what I'm saying? That's going to the person that made you sign that contract. You feel me? And that's why everybody that go independent, we see what happened to them. We wonder why right after an artist die, they put out an album. You feel me? You know how much money that album gonna get? You know how many fans and how even people that wasn't fans, you know what I'm saying? Just because you no longer alive, we gonna tune into it. We gonna see, you know what I'm saying? We gonna try to see what your music was like. You know how much money and views and stuff they rack up off of your album after you die?
Leaving Sony a free agent, owning half of Sony.
I just sell 3 million copies. I got $30 million. Now who has the biggest record deal?
Oh, I see. Yeah, right. Okay.
Saying is, in business, nothing is coincidental, or you would be hearing who's losing money. In all of these situations, it's only the artist that's losing. Somebody makes big money. When these rappers get killed, not incidental. Somebody made $100 million and now don't have to talk to that artist or none of their crew, don't have to validate none of their contracts. Now only got to deal with the mama, only got to see her once a year, and it's over. And the money goes up and up and up. So they killed this $20 million guy, but they reaped $60 million in benefits.
The truth is this, a bunch of young black male rappers keep dying. You know who's not dying? Record executives. You've been used for a long time, you know. They create this paradigm to make you believe that you're so important and your celebrity status is worth so much, but in truth, you're a pawn in their game and you always have been.
I was on rap stages rapping about, you know, violence and guns. You know, that we get paid to rap about that stuff. They actually pay us more when we rap about more ignorant stuff, so I make sure I even a line and come talk on stages like this.
That's kind of why I didn't want to do this song, Shake It, or like any drill songs, because it's like these songs are activating like these demons that I killed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be that girl anymore. Like I just want to be a mother. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't.
So to be clear, to quickly recap, who you had there was Meek Mill, who was speaking about the music that they are told to create if they want to make money. Cardi B, sounding like she was close to tears because she doesn't want to make that sort of music. And she uses this phrase that the music that she's making, it's activating demons, she says. And again, sounds like she's about to cry. And then lastly, that was an artist known as Young Miami, who again is creating this weird paradox of she's saying she creates music that she doesn't actually believe in and that she doesn't want her children to listen to. And there have been rappers who have spoken about the fact that record labels will force them to record demonic phrases and to say demonic phrases backwards and to insert it into their music. So what's actually going on here? And I pushed Nick Cannon this. I said, you're calling this a conspiracy, but why aren't you listening to the artists who are saying that this is what they have to do? And by the way, this extends beyond music. I've spoken to models who say that they are basically told that they have to act like sluts, that they have to get naked if they want to get paid. Even if they're not comfortable, they have to do these sorts of things, perform these sorts of scenes in order to get paid. This is how you make money in Hollywood. And Hollywood is dark and Hollywood is demonic in my viewpoint. I feel it spiritually. As soon as I land here, I'm just going, this is a dark place. And so here's what's really interesting. I had remembered seeing a clip of an artist speaking about just that. His name was, he has since been killed. This was his rap name rather, XXX Tentacion.